Okay, e.l.f. has been busy at launching a lot of new products for summer. I feel like these are some of e.l.f.'s most anticipated launches. They are the ones that are getting so much hype on social media, and I definitely think some of them are worth the hype, some maybe not so much. So I'm here to share my thoughts on them in today's video. I have pretty much everything new that they've launched over the last few weeks, and I have reviewed some of these products on my channel, and then others I've tried like once or twice off camera, and then I'm here to share my thoughts on them initially. I'll come back in a few weeks and update you on the products that I haven't had as long, but because there have been so many e.l.f. launches, I thought I would just put all of them in one video and chat about them, apply them, and share my thoughts. Before I get into the Halo Glow Skin Tint, let me touch on the skincare product that I applied before I started filming, just so it had the chance to sink in. This is their new Bright Icon Vitamin C, E, and Ferulic Serum. It's been a little while since I've incorporated a vitamin C serum into my routine regularly. I have other products, other things that I do that help to brighten dark spots and brighten the skin overall. So my issue with vitamin C isn't that I don't think it's effective. I've definitely had or experienced great results using vitamin C serums in the past, but I don't love how they feel on the skin, and that's usually my issue. There are some formulas, some brands I like, but it is something that I feel like I would like to incorporate into my routine regularly again. June was really rough on my skin. My skin broke out a lot. I think it was partly due to maybe stress. We were traveling a little bit, and I was testing out some new products that I feel like maybe had an impact on my skin. When my skin breaks out, it typically either scars or I have a dark spot that lasts for a really long time. So in addition to other products I'm using, I figured I would incorporate a vitamin C serum regularly. Since I picked this one up, I'm going to use it until I finish it up. And then, in a few months, I'll come back and share like a before and after, sharing if this made a difference for me. So this is made with 15% vitamin C, 1% vitamin E, and then 0.5% ferulic acid. They claim that it's supposed to visibly brighten the skin, even out skin tone, but it's also supposed to reduce the look of dark spots and fine lines, and then just give your skin a glow. And that is those are many of the reasons why I like using vitamin C's when I do use them regularly. I feel like they usually do make my skin look glowy, look smooth, and then help reduce dark spots faster than when I don't use one. Now, some people were saying this is supposed to be a dupe for the SkinCeuticals vitamin C. I know that one is so just like well loved, but that's expensive. I actually Googled it to see how close the ingredients were, and that one is $182. When I saw the price, I was like, that can't be right. That must be like a big bottle of vitamin C, but I'm pretty sure it's for like a very similar size. So it doesn't matter how good that is. I don't think I would ever spend that much on a vitamin C. Again, just because it's not like my favorite skincare product to incorporate anyway. This one is $16. And I will say, even though they share some similar ingredients, there are some big differences. Now, I'm not a cosmetic chemist. I'm not a skincare expert by any means, but based on the research I did and what I've learned throughout the years, just, doing what I do and researching ingredients and things like that, the two vitamin C derivatives they use are different, and that's going to make a big difference. SkinCeuticals uses 15% L-ascorbic acid, whereas e.l.f. actually uses a derivative of that. So when you break it down, the SkinCeuticals one is most likely going to be more effective because it is like a higher potency formula. I obviously haven't used the e.l.f. one long term, but based on the ingredients they include, it has the potential to still be very effective, but maybe not as intense or as powerful as the SkinCeuticals one, which if you have very sensitive skin like me, that might be okay with you. I actually tend to prefer a more gentle form of vitamin C because my skin can be easily irritated. I will say when you apply it to the skin, it goes on really nicely, like very smoothly. And then once it dries down, it's a little bit tacky. It's not super uncomfortable by any means. It definitely leaves your skin looking glowy, looking really, really good, but it has that vitamin C scent. I used the Drunk Elephant one for years, and that is exactly what it smells like and what it feels like on the skin. So just not my favorite product to apply, to wear. Once I throw sunscreen on top, I feel like it's fine. I can't really smell it and I can't feel it. And if I'm wearing makeup, I definitely don't feel that stickiness throughout the day, but it's not something I love wearing on its own. I mean, obviously I recommend throwing sunscreen on top no matter what anyway, but I'm committing to this. I'm not giving up on vitamin C. I want to see if it makes a difference. Okay, honestly, I just spent way too long talking about that vitamin C serum. I really wanted to focus on the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint. This is everywhere. You can't escape it. Everyone is talking about this product. Some people absolutely love it, and they say they haven't been able to find anything like this from the drugstore. And then other people are like, $18 is way too much money for a product like this. This product comes in 18 different shades. So I purchased light neutral and then also light cool. Light neutral is a little bit light for me, but I think light cool is a little bit too pink toned. So I feel like maybe the shade 5 would have been perfect, but sometimes their warm shades lean extremely yellow, which is why I usually go with a neutral shade and sometimes even a cool shade. I'm going to use light neutral in today's video, even if it is just a little bit too light, because this product does oxidize on me throughout the day. It doesn't really oxidize initially, which is what I'm used to when it comes to complexion products, but by the end of the day, my skin does look pretty orangey. I'm just going to make sure to shake this up. Now, they recommend applying either with your fingers or a sponge. I like using a brush. I'm just not like a big sponge person. Fingers definitely work well too. Like I said, I did use this the other day. So I tried it out with my fingers on one side and then I used a brush. I think the most ideal way for me is to like really spread it on with my fingers and then blend it out with a brush. Now, it's interesting because they're marketing this as a light coverage product. They say light to buildable, and then they do say it gives you a natural dewy finish, but you can absolutely get full coverage with this product. A little bit goes a long way, and that's kind of where the debate is. It's a sunscreen. So in order to get adequate sun protection, you're going to need to use enough product. And some people are like, well, it looks best if you use a small amount of product. And I actually would agree with that. I think if you layer this product up, it starts to look heavy on the skin. When I apply sunscreen, I load it on my face, my neck, my ears, to the point where I'm probably adding more than I actually need to. I just completely lost my train of thought. I honestly have no clue where I was at. So I'll just kind of pick up with what I have on my mind right now. When it comes to any sort of tinted sunscreen, I feel like automatically it's hard to apply the proper amount. I actually like chemical sunscreens. My favorite sunscreens are typically from Korean beauty brands. They do such a great job and they're so easy to apply, so easy to layer. I know not everyone loves chemical sunscreens. Some people say they really irritate the skin, they burn their eyes, or they just prefer a mineral formula. And a lot of mineral formulas are tinted to counteract the white cast. And I think automatically because of that, it's just hard to apply the right amount, because if you're layering on like a tinted product, it can start to look, and the fact that it's a mineral sunscreen and those just feel a little bit heavier on the skin, they can start to look cakey and heavy and start to feel that way too. So when it comes to something that's kind of marketed as like a makeup product with sunscreen in it, it's just tough. Like I feel like you're probably not going to end up with adequate sun protection. So for me, I usually do wear sunscreen underneath. I didn't today because I wanted to show you what this looks like as an actual sunscreen and skin tint. So I'll try to apply the proper amount. But if you're someone who doesn't mind wearing another sunscreen under this product, I think you might have a better experience just because you won't have to use as much of this. Automatically, it will look a little bit more natural. It won't look as heavy or as cakey. If you're someone who's going to use this product and use the proper amount to get adequate sun protection, you probably won't end up loving how it looks on the skin as much because automatically it's going to look heavier, thicker, not feel as good. Here's what it looks like with a fairly light layer. So obviously you can tell it's a little bit too light for my skin right now. And again, it will oxidize throughout the day. So even though this looks too light right now, it will end up looking a little bit darker. I filmed a clip in my car the first day I wore this when I first put it on. So I'll show you what that looks like right now. Like this is what it looked like in the morning once I had all of my makeup on. And then here's what it looked like probably 8 hours later. I blotted my skin and then I added a little bit of powder around my nose just because that's where my makeup was wearing off. And it does look darker on the skin. I'm going to go in with more because again, at this point, I really don't have like adequate sun protection, and just show you what it looks like when you layer it up. It doesn't really feel, I know I said earlier, like it can feel a little bit cakier. It is a very thin product. So maybe that isn't like the best description of it. Like you can go in and layer it and it doesn't feel like you have this thick, heavy paste on your skin. I think the formula feels really good on the skin. It's just, to me, it's not like a true skin tint. It almost feels like a serum-y foundation. Every brand is calling everything a skin tint. If you notice, I feel like brands don't actually launch true foundations anymore, but this actually feels and looks more like a foundation than what I would consider to be a true skin tint. So here's what it looks like built up on my skin. It's glowy, it's definitely hydrating. Again, a little bit too light, but it will end up oxidizing throughout the day. I don't have it on my neck or my chest or my ears. I just applied it to my face for today's video. And honestly, I feel like this is probably pretty close to what I'd consider adequate sun protection, the amount that I put on my face. So you can be the judge if you think it looks cakey, unnatural. It's not like the smoothest product I've ever used. I do have pretty textured skin, and as you saw earlier, like my skin has freaked out over the last few weeks, so I am dealing with some dark spots. It ends up evening out my skin tone really, really well, and honestly, it lasts well throughout the day, which was a little bit surprising to me because it is like such a dewy, glowy product. But I wore it on a pretty hot day and it lasted well for me. And again, I did go in and like blot and then touch up my skin again, but for a tinted sunscreen, I honestly expected it to break down a lot faster. I definitely think the formula is gorgeous. It's a beautiful complexion product, very easy to use. It feels hydrating, it looks pretty, it wears well, and it's very easy to incorporate into your daily routine. So for me, I think it's a gorgeous product. I will continue to use it as like a skin tint or maybe in place of foundation, but I'll still wear my other sunscreens underneath it. So you have to decide for yourself if you think it's worth the money as a complexion product or if you need an all-in-one that truly takes the place of everything. But again, those are kind of hard to find at the drugstore these days. CoverGirl just launched one, which I am going to try. I just ordered it, so I'll keep you posted on that. But I do really like this product. For concealer, I'm just using the Catrice True Skin Concealer. This one is in the shade Cool Cashmere. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of this before I set everything into place. One thing I will say is I do think this product looks better on my skin before I set it. Once I set it, I do notice that it ends up looking a little bit more textured, but that is my experience with most sunscreen skin tints. I feel like they end up looking a little bit more textured on my skin. I don't know. Do any of you have such dry skin that you've tried this and you're like, no, it's perfect without setting it? I wish that was the case for me because it does look so pretty before I set it. And once I set it, it still looks good. It's just, it's not quite as glowy, not quite as smooth. I ordered these little Halo Glow Pinky Puffs. They do have a bigger version of this puff, but I thought the little ones would be perfect for setting right under the eyes. I'm going to use the Curtain Call powder from About Face. This one is in the shade Bow. I'm just going to press the powder into the puff and set the center of my face mainly. I love this powder. I didn't use this powder the first day I wore this product from e.l.f. I used the Makeup by Mario powder, which I've been loving lately because it is so lightweight. And that powder, I initially thought it didn't lock my makeup into place super well, but I've kind of been enjoying just like a lighter weight powder overall. Anyway, the About Face powder is also very lightweight, but really, really smoothing. Like, look how good that looks on the skin. It doesn't look cakey or heavy, which, okay, this could be a really good combo, actually. I think I said in a previous video, the About Face powder is kind of like the perfect in between. Like, it's not as lightweight as the Makeup by Mario powder, but it's also not as heavy or matte as the Huda Beauty powder. Anyway, I'm just going to use this to set the very center of my face, and then I'll take a fluffy brush for the perimeter. All right, I'm just taking a very light amount on this brush and then just setting the rest of my face very lightly because I just don't really need a ton of powder on the outer perimeter. I'm loving this combo. I can't get over it. It looks good and you can still see the glow from the skin tint underneath, and that will continue to come through throughout the day. So let me do my brows off camera. I've done the same brow routine a million times over the last few weeks. I'm just going to use the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Gel, their brow tint pen, and then their brow pencil, and I'll be right back. I know we don't normally talk bras on this channel, but I wore the wrong bra with this shirt. I need a good strapless bra recommendation. I don't have one that actually stays up. Like, every time I order one, it just sucks and it does not stay up. So please let me know if you have a good recommendation. Anyway, my brows are done. I'm going to do my eyes. So e.l.f. actually launched a few new bite-sized eyeshadow palettes, which I love. I have been raving about these for years and years, but they haven't really updated the line in a very long time. My favorite one is I Love You a Latte. I just repurchased this. I hit pan on all 4 shadows, and then I use it until it's like, you know, crumbly and the shadows are falling apart, but I end up repurchasing this like every few months because I use it so frequently. It's just like the perfect companion palette to anything I have that doesn't have those 4 matte shadows, or for like an easy everyday look. They just launched this one. This one is Cold Brew. So compared to I Love You a Latte, it is a little bit cooler. Again, just like 4 basic matte shadows, but I feel like I'll end up using this one a ton as well. I think that's what I'll mainly use today. Okay, here's Take Your Pink. I feel like my lights are maybe washing it out just a little bit. And then this one is Total Smoke Show, which this is gorgeous too. They don't have one like this. This is like a nice, true cool toned smoky eyeshadow palette. I'm going to start with the lightest brown in this quad. I just planned out my video schedule for June and then also like heading into July. I actually have quite a few other drugstore launches to test out, honestly. So I think I'll end up incorporating the other quads in those videos. I really want to use this smoky toned one to do like a very dramatic smoky eye. But I think for today's video, I'll probably keep the eyes a little bit softer. The shadow is blending out perfectly. That's why I love the I Love You a Latte quad so much. These are really creamy. I think e.l.f., I mean, I know e.l.f. isn't really well known for like their powder shadows as much as they are other products, but their bite-sized palettes really are so good. They're like $3. They're perfect for travel because you can just throw them into your makeup bag. They take up no space at all. And when I'm traveling, I'm not usually doing anything too intense with my eyeshadow. I'll literally take like a brown, blend it in the crease, and then I'll take like a single Super Shock shadow for the lid, and that's it. I am going to take this brown shadow today just to darken it up a little bit. But, not only are they great for travel, they're just nice in your routine if you are someone who doesn't feel the need to have a lot of palettes, if you like something small and compact. I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, and I do love eyeshadow, but day to day, I'm just reaching for very, very quick, easy formulas. I like quads because they just don't overwhelm me. If I'm reaching for a big palette, sometimes I get like stuck and I'm like, what do I start with? That's part of the reason I think why I end up, hitting pan on all of the shades in the I Love You Latte palette and like consistently using it up. So I don't know that I would call these cool toned shadows. They're less warm than the I Love You a Latte palette. The darkest brown in here probably is slightly cooler. Let's use a little bit of that. I'm just going to use this in the outer corner and just blend it out. I'm not going to pack it on. I don't want anything too over the top for today's video. I am going to do a little bit of smoky eyeliner though, because I did order the Smoky Kohl pencils. And you know what? I feel like my first review of that product, or not my first review, well, it was my first review, but I had used them multiple times. I don't think it was really fair because they're marketed as like kohl eyeliners. They're meant to be like smudgy. They're meant to create those perfect smoked out looks. And the first few times I tried them, I used them to tightline and then I used one on my waterline and they didn't last at all. They're so creamy and so easy to use, but I don't think a kohl eyeliner, I mean, this is obviously it comes down to personal preference. I just don't think it's most ideal as like a waterline pencil or to even tightline. I do think the formula, which I mentioned in my review, is most ideal if you're going to use it like on your upper lash line and then smoke it out. So I want to use it for that purpose today and maybe just, highlight its better qualities. The darkest shadow in here is definitely a little bit cooler. I'm just going to take that medium brown and run it on my lower lash line just to tie things together. And then I think I'm going to take a shimmer. I actually got these new shadows from the brand Beauty Creations. I ordered some products because I thought they looked like they could be potential dupes for some higher end options. So I ordered a few things from there and their single shadows honestly just look so pretty. So I thought I would just use one for today's video. All right, so before I go in and kind of clean this up a little bit, let's take one of these single shadows. So I ordered this trio. These were very, very affordable. I can't remember the exact price, but I'll link them in the description box below. This is their Riding Solo Rodeo Dream Set. So you can order these separately, but if you buy the trio, you get a little bit of a discount. And these were actually the 3 shades I wanted to try. So the lightest one is Oh Hey, the pinky one is Cosmic Dolly, and then this one is in the shade Howdy. I kind of want to do the pinky one. So again, this one is Cosmic Dolly. They look like the Urban Decay Super Shock, or no, they look like the Urban Decay Moon Dust shadows. Let's see. Oh, they're creamy. They kind of feel more like the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. So, oh, that is gorgeous. I love a good sparkly shadow all over the lid. Wow, this is pretty. As long as this doesn't end up like creasing or falling on my face throughout the day, I can easily say I like this formula better than the Moonda shadow formula because it just goes on so easy. It's not quite like the ColourPop Super Shock shadow, like, it does feel more like a traditional shadow rather than a cream to powder, but it's like a creamy shadow. So gorgeous, so easy. They had so many shades to choose from, I couldn't decide. I had added, like, those 3 shades and maybe, like, 1 or 2 others to my cart, and then I saw that they had that trio on their website, so I ended up just going with the trio. I didn't want to, like, overcommit before I knew I actually liked the formula, but if you've tried these and you have other shades that you love, please let me know. I had to take off my lip balm because I felt like that shade didn't go. I was wearing the e.l.f. Glow Reviver in Melting Toffee. I think my favorite scent is Yummy Gummy. By the way, here's the swatches. So this one is Oh Hey, this one is Cosmic Dolly, and then this one is Howdy. So gorgeous. I can't wait to wear the other shades. These are the eyeliner shades I have. This one is Beige Flag, which honestly, I don't really anticipate I'll get much use out of that because I won't really end up using that on my upper lash line. This one is Brownie Points, which I would use brown, but it's probably a little bit warmer than I want today. So I guess I'll use black, which feels very dramatic for me. This one is Black Velvet. And here's what they look like. So again, very creamy, very easy to smudge out, which is ideal if you're using them on the upper lash line. e.l.f. came out with a couple of new brushes. So they have the Smudge and Smoke eyeliner brush, and then also this really tiny one, the Ultra Fine eyeliner, which normally I use one from Sigma. I usually use this one, the E.o.5. So I feel like the e.l.f. one, it's not quite the same shape, but that might be a good alternative. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of the black liner to my upper lash line and then just lightly smudge it out with the brush. I don't want anything too intense. I do wear liquid eyeliner on camera fairly often, but like day to day, I'm not usually wearing liquid liner. I feel like it usually completes my look if I'm doing more of a dramatic look, but I like a smudgier look or even honestly just eyeshadow as eyeliner. It adds a little bit of definition without being too much. But honestly, I don't have a lot of issues with this either like fading or running or smudging throughout the day. It's just mainly when I use it as like a waterline eyeliner. So I feel like it lasts pretty well if you're using it on the upper lash line. I'm just taking the lightest shade from that Cold Brew Quad and just using that to highlight the brow bone. I actually think the look turned out really pretty. A little smokier than I was anticipating. I think I thought I was going to do like an easy summer look, but yeah, the liner does look pretty kind of smudged out. It will look better once I have mascara on too. So this is the new e.l.f. Incredi-Curl Mascara. I've used this in a couple of videos. I did purchase it in dark brown, but I think I'm actually going to use the black one today. It just makes a little bit more sense with this look. I do like this mascara. It's definitely the most dramatic e.l.f. mascara I've tried in a long time. It has been a little while since I've tried Big Mood. I feel like that one's pretty dramatic too, but I feel like this is a boosted version of the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. If you like the way that makes your lashes look like kind of lifted, curled, pretty, but you want more drama, this is a good option. It is a very wet formula. I've been using mine for, I guess it's been a few weeks. And has it been a few weeks? Yeah, it has. And now that it's dried out a little bit, I definitely like it more. I will say since it is a pretty wet formula, it is a little bit heavier. So it ends up weighing my lashes down just a little bit. And it's meant to be like a curling, I think, lifting mascara. So if you have easily weighed down lashes, just keep that in mind. But if you're looking for something a little more dramatic than the Lash and Roll, this one's a nice option. I think maybe 2 coats is like the perfect amount because if you try to build it past 2 coats, it starts to look a little clumpy, a little heavier. So 2 just like quick coats really is the great way to get like good everyday boosted volume. I'm just going to add some powder bronzer. This is the LA Girl Duo in Misty Mauve. So I'm just going to start with the bronzer. I love this formula so much. As you can tell, I hit pan on the bronzer. The blush is gorgeous. If you like that like nice kind of putty cream to powder formula, you'll really like this. So easy to work with, and it just gives the skin like an extra smooth look and stays in place really well. And then I'm just taking the same brush right on top and going in with the blush. This is the BK Beauty 111. It's so nice for like cream to powder formulas because it's the perfect density. Like it's dense but also fluffy, so it blends products so well. I basically just use this brush for this duo or for those Rare Beauty like cream to powder blushes. I love it. I ended up ordering the other shades of the e.l.f. Sheer Fort Blush Tint that I didn't already have because I wear this product almost every single day. It is perfect if your go-to lip product is a lip balm. Lip balms are so nice. They're comfortable, moisturizing, glossy, they smell good, but they don't last. And usually I will pair them with a lip liner, but this is even better because it is so incredibly lightweight and it stays in place all day long. So you can throw this on in the morning and then just reapply your lip balm throughout the day. So my new favorite shade is Plums Up. It is the most beautiful berry. So I'm going to use that today to line my lips and then fill them in. I love these because they are so lightweight. Like it honestly just doesn't feel like you have anything on your lips. And then on top, I'm going to use the Glow Reviver Melting Lip Balm in Blackberry Sorbet. This is pretty pigmented when you first apply it, but let me just blend it in so it's a little bit softer. So here's how the makeup came together. I think it looks really pretty. I mean, as you can see, that glow is already starting to come through again, even though I powdered it pretty, thoroughly in the center of my face. I actually like the glow because I think it looks a little bit more natural, a little more skin-like, but I might go in with a setting spray. And then, like I said earlier, I did have to like blot my skin and then powder it halfway through the day. So I think this is a really beautiful product. It's not going to be for everyone, but I think the quality is definitely there, with a few caveats like I mentioned earlier. So that's everything I wanted to share with you. Some really great high quality launches from e.l.f. That's been the case for a while at this point. It doesn't mean you necessarily need all of these products. If you have things that work really well for you in these categories, you could absolutely skip over them. But if you love e.l.f., if you're needing like a new lip stain or you need a new skin tint, you like the idea of one that has sunscreen, I don't think you'll be disappointed by the quality. So I guess I'll end the video here. Oh no, I have two more products that I wanted to briefly talk about. The Suntouchable Invisi-Stick. This is their broad spectrum SPF 50 sunscreen stick. I didn't use this today, but I have been using it off camera, just testing it out. I'm not typically a big sunscreen stick person. I like them for my kids because they give me a hard time if I'm using like a spray on or even like a lotion sunscreen. So sometimes like if I just need to quickly reapply on the go, this is a nice option just to have in my bag. So we kind of have them everywhere. I usually use the Sun Bum sunscreen sticks, but I do like this formula. I used it on me. I tested it out on my face, my neck, my hands. It's really great for reapplication. It's a nice, smooth, lightweight product without being too greasy. There's definitely a glow to it, but if you tried like that Glow Recipe sunscreen stick they ended up launching either last summer or the summer before, that one was so extremely greasy that I felt like it wasn't wearable for me personally. This is definitely less intense. Like your skin will have a nice glow to it, but again, it's not full on greasy. Very smooth, super lightweight. So I like to bring this with me on the go just to like touch up for my hands, my neck. I do like it on the face, but the thing about sunscreen sticks is you have to like swipe multiple layers to make sure you're getting enough product to have adequate sun protection. So in the end for me, I just prefer like a traditional lotion like sunscreen like Dalba or like the e.l.f. Suntouchable because they're just easier to apply and make sure that you're getting enough on the skin. But I love this for on-the-go touch-ups, super convenient, and it's great to be able to just like blend it on wherever you need and not have to worry about getting your hands like all greasy, all sticky. The other thing I wanted to touch on, again, I've only used a few times, so I'll come back and share an updated review. Skincare takes a lot longer to test, but initially I wanted to share my experience with the PLZ Clarify Facial Oil. This is 2% salicylic acid and then aloe extract. There are some other ingredients too, but those are like the main highlighted ingredients. So this is going to be most ideal for you if you have acne prone skin. This is an interesting product. I don't know if they were trying to dupe something with this product. Some people were saying it's a dupe for the Sunday Riley UFO. I don't know that they're the same. I didn't look as closely at the ingredients as I did with the vitamin C's because I heard so many people say they were trying to dupe SkinCeuticals. The before and after photos were actually really impressive. I didn't feel that way about their vitamin C serum. The before and afters were like a little underwhelming. But when I saw the photos of this product, I was like, oh, those are good results. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into it, like lighting, if the models were using other products in between, if they retouched it, that's always something to take into account. But I figured, again, because my skin has been going through it, I would try something like this, incorporate it into my routine. It doesn't irritate my skin at all. It has a very strong scent. It does have tea tree oil in it. I don't love the scent of tea tree oil, but I usually throw it on at night and then like put a moisturizer over over it and I don't notice it as much. But they say it's supposed to clarify your skin, treat blackheads, soothe, calm the skin, and it's been good so far. My skin, I feel like, is on the mend, but I've enjoyed incorporating this into my routine. And like I said, I'll definitely keep you posted on how these products work for me long term. So that is the end of my video. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I'll link everything I used in the description box in case you're interested in any of these products. Let me know which videos you want to see on my channel during the month of, well, the rest of June, and then as we head into July. I would love to know. I have a lot of drugstore content coming your way. That's what I tend to focus on anyway, but if you like drugstore videos, I would love for you to subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you soon with a new one. Bye.